really tough and they're really rough and nothing's working, but there's something inside of you that says, I just have to follow that because you don't know who you're going to be.
Welcome to the Binge on Self-Love podcast. My name is Anna, but you can call me Anci, and thank you so much for tuning in. Binge on Self-Love podcast is about navigating binge eating disorder struggles, disordered eating, and negative body image. Although I share my personal experience with having a negative body image, eating disorders, and I do uncover bits of my personal story, this podcast is not as much about me as it is about you. Beautiful human beings who struggle, who fight, who grow, and who evolve every single day. This podcast is for anyone who wants to feel supported on their recovery journey and simply for anyone who's trying to improve their relationship with themselves. I believe together we can turn something so negative, such as binge eating, into something more positive and hopefully go from binging on food and self-hatred to binging on self-love. Subscribe to the Binge on Self-Love podcast on your favorite platform and tune in every Tuesday for a new episode.
But there's something inside of you that says, I just have to follow that because you don't know who you're going to be.
Disclaimer: Binge on Self-Love podcast is intended for informational purposes only. It doesn't provide professional medical advice and it is not a substitute for diagnosis or treatment. In this podcast, we cover the topic of eating disorders, so if you find this topic triggering, it may be better for you not to listen to this podcast. Always make sure to put your mental health first. Hello everyone, welcome to the Binge on Self-Love podcast. My name is Anna, but you can call me Anci, and today I am back with another Binge on Self-Love podcast episode. And today's episode is going to be a little different because I usually stay out of any controversial topics just because I don't really like confrontation and I don't really feel entitled to put my 2 cents in. But in this case of this particular campaign that I'll be talking about today, I'll make a difference and share my thoughts with you. So without further ado, let's get into today's episode. As some of you who have listened to this podcast before probably know, the Binge on Self-Love podcast is about eating disorders, about recovery, about accepting yourself and loving yourself, and about loving your body just the way it is. And therefore, I wanted to take some time and talk about the recent Adidas campaign that has sparked so much controversy that it actually got banned in the UK. If you don't know what I'm talking about, Adidas has launched a campaign to promote the new sports bras, and they have used photos of bare breasts of different sizes and shapes of, I think, 25 women. And it sparked a lot of controversy, that much actually that it got banned in the United Kingdom. And just to set the record straight, all I'll be saying in this episode is just my personal opinion on the campaign itself when I saw it online. I am not connected to any brand at all. These are just my personal thoughts and opinions. When I first read about it and saw the photo, I was actually surprised how anyone could find that inappropriate or say that it sexualizes women or that it turns women's breasts into objects. I fully respect if you don't agree with me, if you have a different point of view, but I honestly find it really interesting that a photo of women's breasts that are not being sexualized in any way, that are simply just there, can cause so much controversy among people. I mean, is this campaign surprising? Definitely. Is it something that's worth the media attention? Yes, but does that objectify women? I don't really think so. I don't usually put my 2 cents in any controversies because I know there will always be people who won't agree with you and that you can make a lot of people mad. But this podcast is about being honest and most importantly about everything related to body image. And I'm wondering, if you watch a movie and there's an ad using a woman to increase sales, do you consider that not okay? Or when you walk through the shopping mall or the street and you see a billboard with a model in her underwear, do you also consider that not okay? Or when you play a music video of your favorite artists and women wearing next to nothing are dancing around them in the video, do you consider that not okay? But showing photos of real people and their real breasts just the way they are to demonstrate that there are so many shapes and sizes of boobs that one type of bra is hardly ever going to fit us all for some reason is not okay. I am definitely not a confident person. I have felt ashamed of my body ever since I hit puberty, when I got boobs, butt, and hips. And I hated my body pretty much ever since. And I don't like it when a woman's body or any part of it or any body in general is being turned into a sexual object. I've always tried to hide my boobs as much as I could, wearing anything but a big cleavage, just because I knew people would look at my breasts in a way I didn't want to be looked at. And that's just because of the many narratives that have been creating around women's bodies. But I still don't see any sexualization or objectification in the campaign itself. If anything, I love and appreciate that it showed different types of breasts, not just this one nearly perfect pair of boobs that we're being showed in the online world a lot. I'm not saying that from now on we should start showing naked bodies everywhere, no matter what, just because we can, or just because human bodies, even naked, are normal, because they are. But what I think we should try to do is to maybe think more deeply about what's really hurting people and what's not. I know that's extremely difficult to say, considering how super subjective that line between this is yet okay and this is not okay is. But personally, I think that seeing retouched and edited photos of women all over the internet everywhere and every single day hurts our confidence, our body image, and our mind way more than seeing real photos of women's chest. I'm wondering, isn't this showing women's chest in a way that's not promoting anything sexual one of many possible ways how to take away the objectification and sexualization of human bodies, showing that breasts are just breasts, showing that this is part of our bodies and that's simply normal? To play the devil's advocate here, though, what I assume some of the people might have found offending about the campaign was the message itself, that it is using boobs to sell more sports bras. I think if the campaign was maybe dedicated to breast cancer awareness or to encourage regular breast self-examination, then people probably wouldn't be that offended. Maybe, I'm just guessing here, of course. Also, I understand that parents are not exactly thrilled about the fact that their children may come across that ad and see it, but then, at least what I think, then it's up to the parents to take their time and explain to their children more about what they're seeing. To be completely honest, I like that Adidas took the brave step and used photos of real boobs of real people and basically showed that not all breasts are the same, and therefore we all may be looking for something a little different when it comes to sports bras. Are sports bras the most important thing we should be carrying and talking about right now compared to what's going on in the world? Definitely not, but that still doesn't change anything about the campaign itself and about the idea behind it. I don't know about you, but I have always found it strange how certain products for women are being advertised, like ads for pads or tampons that show blue liquids on the pads, like if periods were blue. I mean, I get why they do that, but at the same time, It almost feels like we should feel ashamed of this being our reality and of our reality being too much for people to know. Or that we have breasts that actually need some support when we are working out, and that it's not always easy to find something that fits you because there are certain types of bras that you can get, and sometimes it's hard to find what suits you. At the end of the day, a good marketing campaign gets people talking, which is what happened. I think that by banning these ads and hating on them, we are those who are turning them into something sexual. We are confirming that, yes, this is not appropriate. Women's breast, or any part for that matter, is something we shouldn't show. It's something we should hide. Like I've said, it is just my opinion. It's not some generally valid truth that anyone must follow or agree with, but I do feel pretty strongly about this. I would really love to know, though, what are your thoughts about this if you came across that campaign? What do you think? Do you agree, disagree? What are your thoughts on this? You can DM me on Instagram at bingeonselvav, or you can send me an email at anci@bingeonselvav.com. Thank you so much for joining me today. I'll be back next Tuesday with another episode. Until then, take care and talk to you soon. Bye.
Have to be your biggest fan. And when things are really tough and they're really rough and nothing's working, but there's something inside of you that says, I just have to follow that. Because you don't know